Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're live.
Here we
So
are.
how have you been? How's the reading going?
Reading is okay. Reading could be better. Always
Could be better.
could be better. We're currently reading a book called In Essence. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Let me see if I have it here. In Essence.
Ooh.
So we're trying to it's from
Who's it
Srila
by?
Prabhupada. It's Srila Prabhupada, but compiled by Satyaraj Das.
Ah.
What's so nice about it is the whole thing. Every sort of chapter title is a question. And that's the theme
Ah.
I'm going through right now. Questions, cultivating a community of conscious questioning. So just like finding those perfect questions. Yeah, every single title is a question, and then the article is the answer. And I love that.
It's available locally?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know where and how, but it absolutely is. And then it's
Hey, I'm
also
a
on a
hoarder,
PD.
huh?
It's also on a PDF
I'm
form, so I can give you that one just for now until you find the
no.
real deal. You want the
I'm
real
gonna go
deal?
hunting for the real deal. I spend too much time in front of the screen, man. My eyes are
Yeah,
gone. Uh,
hear you.
yeah. So I'm a hoarder, yeah, as well. I like books. I like having these books
See what
and
we can do
always
for a
being
network. Let's see
bothered
what we
of
can
it.
do.
Huh?
Find it there. In essence, so if you can't find it, let us know and we'll make a plan to, I don't know, ship you one or something.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to find out. What's the shipping like from Cape Town to here? It's local,
I'm
right?
not clued. Yeah, I'm not
It,
clued up. I'm not
it
clued up,
works with
but
weight. Yo, is it?
yeah, maybe, maybe.
Hmm.
I'd have to
Maybe something to
investigate
look
it.
at. And how's the heat there, man? I'm like burning this side. Yo.
It's actually cooled down in the last week. There's been a shift to the cooler side already, so probably
Hmm.
we'll have another heat wave. But it's on a very mild. It's a good temperature at the moment, like spring. It feels a bit like spring at the moment.
Yeah, yesterday and today up here was just insane. Particularly today, I'm so sticky. I just got back.
Yeah.
I didn't even have time to take a shower. Whew.
My memory of Joburg growing up was that it rained in summer. In that hot season, it rained. Does it still like that?
Hmm. You from up here originally?
Yeah, I was born there. I was born there and raised in Hillbrow, next to the Hillbrow Temple.
Uh huh.
But I've been here for many years, so yeah, it's over like 20 years. But I was born there, so I have this memory of my school uniform was a summer uniform, but a rain jacket. So that's the memory I have, because it would rain in the hot weather.
Yeah, at least it rains up here. I grew up in a town that is like, yo, that place. I took Sachi Prabhu up there, I think in 2006, early 2006. Oh, he came back cooked. That place is super hot, man. Orapa. In Botswana, it's like a mining town. I
Botswana.
actually call it the Hole of Greed. I don't know if it's still the second largest open cast mine. I don't know, but at the time it was. Yeah. So, where's your dose? What you got? Is it the book?
Yeah, I'm gonna reveal my nerdiness and say I didn't even know what that meant. I'll bring it, but I don't even know what it is. What is dose?
Hmm. Yeah, you got me tapping the table now. What you got?
Hey,
You got me
what
tapping the
what is?
table. I'm wondering what does she have? Hmm.
Am I?
You played me something
What is
really
dose?
nice
You
the
have
last
to
time.
explain. You have to explain
Like,
what dose is, and then I'll deliver it. Before I...
no, what is dose? You want me to pull out the Urban Dictionary?
Yeah.
like, where's the stash? What have you got? What have you been listening to? What have you been reading? At least now I know what you've been reading.
So what we're doing with the reading is we're trying to formulate our programs around that. So we got some students coming through. We had our first session today on Bhakti Siddhanta's appearance there. That felt pretty cool. And we want to create this space of conscious questioning. We want the whole thing to be around questions. We want from the get-go, we want to set this example of asking questions and getting really comfortable with questions. Like that's really my main goal. It's like,
Yeah.
perfect questions and attempted perfect answers by repeating perfect answers.
So the schools are like on full blast. You guys are like fully operational. What?
Everyone's here. The students are here and they're ready, but we've got a protest happening already for registrations. So they've got some backlog and some rejections, and some people are heartbroken. So there's protests already in week 1, so they've shut down again. But we're just gonna carry on off campus. So we've got students, we've got keen students. So we're just gonna move ahead. But in terms of campus, they're struggling with access to the ground. Hi Jagannath, I see you've also got Jagannath in the background.
Yeah, when am I frozen?
A little bit.
Yeah, I look
Not your
frozen.
voice,
I
no.
got a sad look on my face.
Deeply contemplative, maybe. What are you contemplating? Or what are you sad about, since you're revealing that now? What?
I have no idea.
How is your preaching going? How is your outreach going? Are you reaching people? Because that is where I found my happiness after 2 years of serious depression. The minute I got released into the field of meeting people again, I feel human again. Finally, it was really tough, actually. Because the online space did not work for me. It just didn't, in terms of reaching people.
Yeah, I got a bit of a problem with being impersonal.
Yeah. So you prefer the online space?
Yeah. I can only like
I think I've lost your voice now. It's also frozen.
Hey, Bo, are you still there?
Yes, I am. Just plugging my earphones in again, and I'll start my
Yeah,
camera.
not sure what
What was
happened
that?
there. Huh?
Welcome back. Is this the radio station? You have to actually welcome me to this online office. I don't know where I am even. Is this the radio station?
No, I'll tell you about that. Yeah, the radio station is, you could say, is dead.
Is
It's kind of dead.
okay. So it's
Yeah. So what?
reincarnated as this.
Not really. No. Um, like, as some people may recall, the radio station was supposed to be a kind of like online preaching initiative as well as creative space for devotees, but largely for I don't like this term, non-devotee, but for people who aren't familiar with the Krishna conscious lifestyle and philosophy. So when Santin kind of went on ice and Melville started, packed up all the gear and moved here. So it was supposed to be part of the preaching initiative in Melville, where the idea was to have a creative approach to exploring Krishna conscious material and producing, you could say, um, mm, material like music, poetry, written works, things like that, through what I'd like to call the art of sharing realizations. Like what you're saying, that conscious questioning. I like that. I think that's dope. So this was basically something that followed me from Botswana, where I was making music. Started well from before Botswana, from before going back to Botswana. So I was in college making music with my friends, and I like conscious content. I like
Yes.
that, that stuff that had substance. I mean, yeah, there's a good party track here and there, but if it's not really saying anything, it just gets boring after a few minutes.
Just
Yeah,
adds to the it just adds to the noise of the world. The world is so noisy
yeah,
at the moment in this information age, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. And at
That
around that
that's
time,
one yes.
come again? What were you
No,
saying?
no. Around that I do want to hear the rest of the story.
Oh
But
yeah, around that time, I was like, I had a lot of questions, man. I had a lot of questions, and I hadn't met the devotees. This is in uni, so I used to speculate a lot around. We're not these bodies. There must be something more, man. Come on,
yeah.
you know. And then some friends of mine, like the guys I was working with, weirdest thing that we ever did. Like we kind of like took retreat into the village, and it was all about just breaking down concepts, writing verses during the week, and then Friday we're recording, and Monday we're selling these discs,
Cool. That is
of recorded
cool.
poetry, and yeah,
That is
and
so
then
proactive. So many artists don't make it out of the mental space. They've got amazing things going on in the mental space, but so many artists
yeah,
never get it onto a disc, and that's admirable. Yeah, that's really good.
yeah, man. And so these guys were talking about things like absolute truth, and I was like, where's this guy getting this stuff from? You know, little did I know they'd met the devotees. They talking about absolute this, that. So when I finally met the devotees and I had like Krishna conscious literature, I was like, whoa. So I'm not nuts. I'm not nuts. So all of that speculative, all the time, we're not these, but there must be something more. As I had, like, I met, actually, what happened was Savya Sachika who came and knocked on my door. And around that time, I was like depressed and I just withdrawn from day-to-day college life. So when he knocked at my door, I was like, this is the guy I've been waiting for. So one of my poet friends sent him up to my room. Like, there's a guy there that I think you'd get along with.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you guys go way back to the roots. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
So you found out what dose means?
No, I haven't, but you're either gonna tell me or I'm just gonna attempt to deliver it without knowing what it is.
It's
What
stash.
is it?
It's what you got.
Stash. Like what the hidden gems.
Yeah. What have you got?
What I recently read within the week that I keep rereading and falling in love with again and again is one article in the journey of self-discovery called Krishna is the Supreme Artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the article for me. That's the one that I'll just keep going back to and churning in my mind and just seeing it everywhere. And I can't get over that article. Can this platform share images?
Yeah, yeah.
How to do that?
Let me see. Uh, I don't know if you have the same, what do you call, dashboard thingy at the bottom. Can you see that?
You're in the show
Like at the
settings. No, it's
bottom,
pretty.
where it says share.
Mm.
Hmm?
I have a settings button, a chat button.
Oh,
Chat.
oh, there's no, you don't have control? That,
Mm-mm.
that kind of sucks. Okay. Do you have a link? I could share from my side. No, you're gone. Yeah. You back?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have a share button, but I could WhatsApp you this image. It's just a painting. You may have been there. That Namanta did in 2018 at the Bhakti Cloud of Krishna standing in front of a blank canvas. So you can see his back and his crown and his peacock feather and his paintbrush and his blank canvas. And I just love that picture. I don't know if I should send it to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah, you
So
can
yeah,
send
that's
it.
what I've been meditating on is Krishna, the Supreme Artist. And because I don't have the purity to understand him as he is at the moment. So all I've got are these love letters he's left all over the material creation that I can try see the beauty in and try connect with them, like a beautiful frangipani flower, like, or just the concept of vegetation, how like similar seeds grow completely different vegetables and textures and scents, and it's just like completely mind-blowing, and that's all I have access to now. So I just meditate on these things and try understand how wonderful he is and how I can try and connect to him through these things, because honestly speaking, unless I'm reading about him, I've got no idea who he really is as a person just yet. So I'm trying to do it through material nature still,
Yeah.
and seeing his artistry within everything.
But isn't it
Like
like, sorry to jump
yeah,
in, but something I realized it was like a poet, like what you call on my status, my Facebook status, I shared Erica Badu's poem friends, what fans, friends, artists must meet, whatever, whatever, right? And then she's talking about when it gets to the artist, she's talking about how the record label's trying to get her to compromise her art. And I've just been thinking, isn't that the thing with artists anyway? That the artists play, everybody's trying to separate the art from the artist. And when it gets to impersonalism, I was just checking out this other girl on TikTok, and I'm like, oh lady, but I guess she's my age mate girl. No disrespect, but
I can hear you, but are you able to speak a little louder? I don't know if it's my sound that's
can you
not
hear me
loud enough,
now?
but I can hear you. I
You can
can.
hear
It's
me?
just a bit soft. It's just
I'm
soft. I don't
probably
know why.
ranting. I have that problem, right? Where everybody says I speak too softly, Can you
You
hear
get
me
that?
now? Is that loud
You're
enough?
introverted, and it's okay. There's space for
Yeah, it
everyone.
sounds so loud in
So,
my head,
but when you're on the mic, then that's a whole different persona. That's a whole different. Then it's clear. Then it's crystal clear.
Oh
Or
yeah.
it's louder, should I say? Okay,
Yeah,
so
like
you
I
were
was saying,
checking
so
this chick out
this
on
girl,
TikTok.
yeah, this girl on TikTok, she's talking about, the divine, and then she's talking about um what the universe, and then separates. It's like now God is some imaginary being who was created by, I don't know who she calls they, or she's referring to as they, to control the people, and I'm just thinking, all these beautiful things that you're talking about, the universe, the this, the that, it's Krishna's art, man. And then today I was like just listening to the chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, as it is, the modes of material nature. And in there, Prabhupada as well is talking about, it's not that the scorpion is laid, or appears through the rice. You know what I mean? It's that the scorpion laid its eggs in the rice, and they hatched and came out from the rice. It's not like the rice produces scorpions. So the living
Yeah,
entities have been put into Krishna's material creation, and so why separate? Everybody's just trying to take away from the artist. Like, why?
yeah,
Why do you want to do
yeah. I
that?
mean, I remember this piece you were saying at that. I think it was the Belong poetry event, and you took a little shot at. I think you were taking a shot at Monsanto,
Mm.
who are trying to govern the seeds. They're trying to I mean, that is just wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
And they out here trying
The
to
the
shape shift, If- They're out here trying to shape shift. Everybody's trying to buy that product. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, you were saying?
Basically, yeah, just always meditating on that. And I don't know, maybe we can explore this concept further of separating the artist from the art, and how do we, because if that's the
I've
issue, and we're
always
trying to
had an
raise
issue with that.
consciousness
Yeah,
through
I
art,
always had.
we can
Yeah.
accomplish both things, that like reuniting the artist with the art, and then even deeper than that, acknowledging where the artist's artistic ability even comes from in the first place, or where it's inspired from.
Yeah. What always blew my mind was first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, text 1 in the purport. you know,
About the
I come into
scientists.
contact with about like how the creative energy is inspired or sparked by coming into contact with absolute truth,
Yeah.
and then it's like it happens. I mean, look, before Lord Brahma started creating, or doing the thing he does, he had to do what, right? It's on the tip. But I've always had a problem with this separating the art from the artist. I remember it got me into trouble when we're doing poetry in English. And me regretting taking English to third level. We now we're talking about Shakespeare. We're analyzing Shakespeare's work, and we're trying to separate him from the work. Like I always thought, why not? If the poet was here, wouldn't you want to hear what he was thinking when he wrote it? I mean, okay, fine. Poetry is supposed to inspire. I mean, art in general is supposed to inspire or trigger some sort of reaction or feeling or whatever in the beholder of the piece. But now, when you want to get into the core of the meaning of the work, you're gonna apply these wacky tools to it, feet, meter, all of that, to try and capture the essence of the poet. I think that's just nonsense. Uh,
I guess a similar kind of incident I had was we were creating a video, like a poetry video, like a very short video, and we used a backtrack, like a lo-fi backtrack from someone. And I said, can you put a reel at the end that says credits and put this person's name, like their YouTube channel or their name or something? And then the person said, no, well, why would we put it? Why would we do that? And I'm
yeah.
like, I feel very, very uneasy. It's a no-go for me. It's an absolute no-go. I mean, to credit an artist, and then I'm thinking even more to, like you say, to really like kind of get to know that artist, not just a name like William Shakespeare. Like, what was he really saying? Like, what was his mood really? And yeah, I guess. Well, what does it come down to at Matatfa? It's this lording it over mentality that we see something beautiful and then we want to claim it for ourselves without acknowledging anything else. Like
Yeah, that was another thing that kind of like, I guess, had the guys I was exploring my artistic ability with kind of put me to the sideline. I had this track I called "Give God Mention,"
that's a good title.
because now everybody's on some I'm this and I'm that, and where are you getting it from? You
You know
know?
who always did that? I'm sorry to butt in. Do you know who I noticed
Yeah.
always did that? Michael
Uh,
Jackson. He'd always say, I think he'd say, I thank my mom. He'd say a few people, but he'd always say, and I thank God. Always, like
yeah.
in his
Yeah.
in his speeches.
And
Yes,
where are
you're
you
saying
getting
to
your
give God
ability
mention.
from? Well, where are you
Yeah,
getting your
yeah.
ability from? Like who is giving you this thing that we call talent and
Because
or
what
ability?
is art? Essentially, you've got to be inspired by something. It doesn't. Okay, Brahma. Let's talk about Brahma as a creator. He got it kind of internally. It wasn't external. He heard Tapa, and then it was internal. But we get inspired by something external, isn't it? I mean, have you ever had an experience where you're just internally inspired, nothing external inspired your piece or your thought? I'm very externally inspired, and then you have to think, where did that external thing come from, and trace everything back to its root
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah. I guess I never really thought about that, but yeah, it's a series of external influences or stimuli. Yeah,
Combined with the internal kind of emotional space of whatever you're going through.
yeah,
But definitely for me there's always an external.
yeah. Now this goes back to the whole intentional expression. That's one thing that has really affected my creative process. Excuse me, like in an intentional approach to creation. Did you just drop your
Intentional.
voice?
No,
Yeah.
no, no. I'm
Oh,
just adjusting some stuff.
oh, yeah. Like, yeah, something intentional. Like usually, my process. How do I even describe my process? It's either I feel, oh, I write something. I haven't written anything to music in the longest time. I've always liked writing something separately and then making music separately and then putting it together to see what it comes out like.
You're so gifted to be able to make
Yeah.
music. You're so gifted.
No, you
So
just press
gifted.
buttons, man.
I can't just be pressing buttons.
And even that, it came from the desire for self expression. I was going through a hard time, and The guys who I knew who were making music didn't want to share it with me because they were on a whole other path. So I had to find it.
Didn't want to share the beats with you.
Yeah, and I was crushed. I was heartbroken. You
Let's
know?
talk about that, Atma. Let's talk about that. Do we always have to write from a place of pain? This is what I'm trying to change about myself. I don't want to
Yeah,
write until I'm not
I don't
writing
want to
from
do
my
it.
trauma or my
Mm-hmm.
boo-hoo. I'm so tired
Yeah.
of that narrative with myself.
Yep. So that's what
Whether
I
it's my
need.
pain or the world's pain.
Like now observing, like lately, I've just been observing myself and my approach to writing. There was a time when I got freaked out. This writing thing is not a joke. Like all the stuff I was writing was actually happening. And I had like three different color pens to write down whatever it is or whatever feeling I was writing. I remember I had a green one, a red one, and a blue one. The black didn't feature much, and I penned down whatever I was feeling at the time, and I realized
Did
that
each color
yo,
represent like an emotion, like a mood, like a
yeah,
mode or a mood?
yeah, it did. I think blue was for whatever was true and inclusive, and red was when I was angry,
I
and
was gonna guess that one.
yeah,
And
and
green
green
was when you
was
were writing for the healing.
no, like that was the nasty stuff.
Ah, the green-eyed monsters.
Yeah, that was a green-eyed monster. Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I wish
so
Nkosi Nati was on this broadcast. He's got a poem about colors of ink. I can't
about
paraphrase
what?
it
Yeah, I
even.
haven't seen him in a
About
while. Where
colors
is
of
he?
ink. About colors of ink. Damn, I can't paraphrase it. And he said it to me so many times when we were rehearsing. But okay,
Yeah,
and then you were going through that process and observing.
it's really changed my writing process, man, and it's taking longer now because this is now
When you say true, are you speaking about tattva? Like tattva is only in blue.
yeah, those kind of
So the
truths,
shastrik, yeah.
yeah, that, yeah. So now it's
That's
like,
dope.
yo,
That's dope.
I'm now write something, delete it, or write it in different pieces and explore each piece, and it's really something. It's really something. It's something.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Compartmentalizing kind of. I notice with myself, I start out with the pain and the gunk and the. I kind of start, if I were to put it in modes, not colors of ink. I start out
Mm.
in Tamagun and I'm like body conscious, pain, rah, rah, rah. And then I go, but how do I think of Krishna in this mess? And then I try to find the filter the tattva in. But I want to change that. I'm not happy with that approach anymore. Because that's what writing started out as for me. It was, me as a kid growing up in Hillbrow, going through whatever and needing to process it. So I used poetry to process it. But now
Mm.
it's, that narrative is getting a bit stale for me where it's got to start at this point of some point of frustration, or maybe it does it have to? That's the question. That's the question. Does it have to?
Mm.
Does it have to be relative, to touch another person, to to accomplish anything? Does it have to come from a place of turmoil?
Yeah.
What is this saying that all artists are tortured? Tortured. I've heard it so many times.
Tortured, huh?
Yeah, tortured.
Yeah, you see, like I was listening to a lot of Joy Harjo recently.
Who? Joy?
Joy Harjo. She's I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. Yeah, Harjo. So she writes a lot. I think she's Native American heritage. So she writes a lot from there and exploring that spiritual aspect of material nature, not just being, here and not knowing what's going on. The whole Native American approach to
Really
understanding that,
honoring
yeah,
nature,
honoring, yeah.
honoring the great spirit, honoring. What I like about them is this idea to they ask the permission of the plants, and they really like communicate with the spirit of the plant, and not just exploitive kind of pick it and don't even consider that this is a living being that's producing something, and we're borrowing it for this meantime for whatever purpose, and giving thanks. I really like that culture, and I think we have a
Yeah,
bit of it too. I think I try to appreciate the trees when I'm picking the flowers and things.
kind of conscious living.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, but anyway,
What's her name? Joy. Joy.
Joy Harjo.
H
That's
A R.
that's Joy
Yeah.
Harjo.
Harjo. Okay, got it. I'm gonna check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So
pretty
you're saying she
interesting.
writes she writes articles or poetry or
Poetry.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you can hear like how she writes. I don't know or what she writes. It draws from there, But the way she writes about that, you could say torture or pain, it's almost like processing it and ultimately reaching a point of healing and then
Yes,
sharing it. Like I was
yes.
just saying
The
to
catharsis.
yeah, catharsis. Like what's to Dhanaraj Prabhu, I was just saying, wouldn't it be cool
Mm.
to 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 have her um have an exchange, Krishna conscious exchange, maybe processing or digesting
Yeah,
Krishna
yeah, yeah,
conscious
yeah.
material. That would be something. Thought that would be cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna reach out to her, or does he know her or
Yeah, not,
something?
that's a problem with being an introvert. I got this thing like, nah, yeah, no, you know, and
Mm.
just get over myself. Do you know how much what you call energy it took for me to get on here?
Thank you. So much appreciated. So much appreciated.
Yeah, it took me dying a couple of times. to Just get on.
Dying and being reborn.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
yeah,
Joy Harjo.
you had some nice
Okay.
music the last time. You were telling me about some artists you came across?
Music. Was you sent me a piece recently.
Oh, you were asking me. Oh
Uh,
yeah, I sent you that Hands Aloof and
what is
Friends.
it called? You didn't tell me what it's called, or maybe you did and I forgot. What is it called?
It's called Hands Aloof and Friends.
Oh, is that
This
the
is
title of the piece of that song, or is that? I thought that was a project, like a whole
it.
project.
It was a project. Hectic. Now let me just see if I can just share this thing. So yeah, this was something that I worked on in Botswana with a couple of poets, artists alike. So it was a project I titled Hands Aloof and Friends. So how I made this was I just had like a bunch of beats hanging around, and some of the talented individuals I've met in the poetscape or in the cityscape who seem to have some conscious content of some kind. I was like, yo, I'd like to work with you. So, particularly this first track titled Algebra. This was her name's Mo, pretty cool individual. So I just gave her like a lecture to listen to. I remember it's Tamal Krishna Maharaj's class about how it's the demoniac class of
And what do you
men
think women's
who mislead women and basically give them irreligion or false culture in the name of empowerment in order to enjoy them freely without restriction, right? And I remember at the time I was consuming a lot of what they call conspiracy theories around feminism and false empowerment. So
Mm.
the sample here was I don't know if he was a PR officer or what he was, communications guy for the Rockefeller Foundation. I'm not sure, but anyway, I took that and I put it on a beat. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Liberation was about. Pretty conventional thinking about it. Things about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote. You know, you're an idiot. Let me tell you what that was about. We funded Women's Lib, you know, and we're the ones who got all of the newspapers and television. And you want to know why? There were two primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the officials as their family, not as the parents teaching them.
Skin kissed by sun rays, looking like the sky after summer rain. Hips transformed to perfect toes like water in a stream. She makes you want to scream with passion unresolved. Her lips so tender and rosy red, and a tongue that could caress your skin. Something you imagine time and again. Something you'd ask her to if only she'd let you. She's a temptress at best, so she deserves nothing less than your brutal hate, because her skirt is so high up that she's not worth even a little bit of respect. When did equality stop meaning my freedom is within the prison of men's thoughts? Wicked men with demon thoughts haunt me at night, threatening to take away my only prize. Identity lost in the physical manifestation of womanhood. I am no longer human, with feeling and soul and purpose. Breasts and backside have demoted me to plaything. Perfect enough to lie with, but not convincing enough to stay with. Sticky sweet, my honeycomb runs dry. Enticingly sensuous, my rosebuds have begun to die. I allowed men to lead my heart astray, settling for room temperature loving, with half their thieves who disappear with the sunrise, only to return when night is nigh. Day after day, I wake up alone, just to cry, wondering why. When the fact is, he just doesn't love me. And this is something I know, yet I still try to convince myself that it just can't be right. From an excited little girl playing dress up, to a teenage girl trying to get someone to look your way, to woman fighting for a place on the world stage. But all this time I've been stuck in a mental cage. The odds were always against me. The system has never been for me. You may have identified my rights, but all you intended to do was use and abuse me.
As long as we are still thinking in terms of this body, I am my body, I, me, and mine, and these are my possessions, this is my home, my family, my wealth, etc. When we think in terms of proprietorship, then our senses want to gain control of so many objects and enjoy them. This is lust. And surely we shall be victimized by the opposite sex. Very definitely. We may not act, but within the mind we shall meditate.
There was
Dope.
a
Very dope. She got that whole piece just from that clip.
yeah, that was pretty
That
dope,
is
man. Like,
that is so amazing. That is like I was
I remember,
mentioning Pingala when you shared your other piece with me. It wasn't this piece, and I've always really resonated with that piece that Pingala sang. You know that she
who?
had all these realizations. You know Pingala from the Srimad Bhagavatam. You know her.
Mm-mm.
So I came across her through Karanamrita Dasi. She sang those verses into a bhajan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she had these profound realizations about her body and it being used and understanding, needing to transcend that conception,
Mm.
dedicate herself to Krishna, and that these personalities couldn't give her shelter. And I really resonate with that bhajan, like something fierce. I'm very impressed with this lady that was able to capture that so succinctly, like such a deep understanding. But again, I'm asking, do we have to write as such victims? Do we have to? It's just my ongoing
Eh,
question.
yeah, I think maybe you'll
You,
find the answer, and when you do, please share. 'Cause I was just thinking, actually, just now, like, is it possible to remove yourself from the experience, or maybe
and I'm
digest the
not talking
experience?
toxic positivity. I'm not talking
Mm.
toxic or blind positivity, like a kid's show but because that's where I'm at in my writings. I don't want to write again until I've read more and until I'm just. It's more about the blue. You know what it is? I want to write more with the blue pen than anything else. That's really what it's about for me. I'm tired of the red pen.
Yeah.
It hurts people. It hurts me. There's no, what's the point? What is it accomplishing? Maybe it is accomplishing things, but I don't know. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the
Mm.
predominant red pen, and adding the blue pen as a footnote. Here's what Tatra says how to deal with this red mess. I want to write with the blue pen, and if predominantly, and if the red pen features, then that's okay. Here, maybe the red pen can be the footnote. P.S. I had this experience, but sure, here's this amazing truth about Krishna, and
Maybe that's the
yeah. So
process right there. You know, like this whole stream of consciousness type writing technique, and then
no, tell me
going
about it.
back
I know about something
and
called the flow state, which I was researching like years ago from a guy named Jason De Silva. I think that was his name. He speaks about this thing called the flow state, and I've lost my knowledge on it, but it's a cool concept. It's like in a gist, it's about when you're in the flow state, when you're in there and you're writing. But what are you talking about? Stream of consciousness?
yeah, just write. Just grab a pen or sit at the keyboard and just write. You know.
Maybe what it's about for me is editing. I don't edit. I just go raw, like so that the
Yeah.
red pen's in there and the blue pen. I think I need to just edit, maybe edit more,
That
say
that's what I
more.
used to do. Like that's what I used to do. Like just write whatever and then revisit it and chop out whatever or shape it up or
Mm,
add a bit more or yeah.
mm,
Now apply the mind and see what you can come up with. But then sometimes also you can just get lost in embellishing things.
mm. And you
Yeah,
lose some of the raw.
yeah.
Sometimes the raw is what's needed. Yeah, Atma, this is a good session. Thank you. I really took away from this about those ink colors. I think that was very profound. Thank you for sharing that. That was your
Mm.
you brought the dose. What to do? that
No,
was that was it.
you gotta share a link, but I don't want a link. No, no, no. I'm gonna look
Which
for that
link?
book. No, I'm gonna look for the book.
Essence.
I don't.
In
Yeah, I
essence.
don't want.
You
Yeah, I
know
don't
what?
want
We did our first meditation session with the students this morning, so I wanted them to take a meditation away for the week and then come back and we'll revisit whatever they've sort of thought about. So I was
to.
googling, essence and trying to find all the different words, and quiddity came up there. I was like, oh yeah, cool
Mhm.
beans. So I never really understood how's that going? How's the magazine going?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So this is gonna be a column in Quiddity Concept magazine.
A
And the
column,
reason
a
why,
column in the quiddity concept.
yeah, and it's gonna be your column. And the reason why I'm asking how much it is to send things to Cape Town, I want to send you some copies.
Yeah, let's do that. If you haven't found in essence by the time you figure out the costs and things and the weights and the what, you just share the info with me and we'll send an essence book your way.
Yeah, that's the other thing about, even though I like the online skate, it's like I haven't wanted to adapt the print to online kind of, but anyway, it's unavoidable. I
You
need
mean
to do
like
that.
you mean like an online newsletter versus the printed?
Yeah, the print. I really like touching things. Like,
Yeah, I picked that up
feel-
when you wanted the book. When I said I've got the PDF, you were like, no. So I get that. I get that.
yeah. I mean,
It's
I
an
have it. I
experience.
have it
It's a
ready
very
on
different experience.
PDF. It has all the links. But the whole idea with Quiddity Concept magazine, the concept is to have it running alongside an online presence. The personability, the approaching people, talking to people. Here's something you can touch, you can feel. And if you want to read more, which is the tagline, read more, go online and read more.
Mm,
But
okay.
meeting people, talking to people, that's something. Even though I don't like being in the middle of a lot of people for a long time. But
Yeah.
that was an exercise. That was another exercise of breaking away from, that habit.
Yeah, to get out and meet people and give them the magazine in person
Hmm.
and just
Hmm.
get out of your shell. When His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Maharaj told me he's an introvert, and I was like, huh? No ways.
Hmm?
Like, don't you
No
have my
way.
book, the words of a public hermit? I was like, oh gosh. Yeah,
Hmm.
I guess yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he said it's
All
about
right.
where you get your energy from. You get it from inside or outside, and yeah, that's why I guess I was wondering, can people be inspired just from inside? I guess that's an extroverted question. Is that possible? Because I definitely get everything from like external, and then
Hmm.
meets the internal. What helps me process the internal. But I assume you probably get everything mostly from the internal, and then you match it to the external.
I think the musical side of it is, but still, man, it's largely internal, but still, it's external. If you think of it, it has to do with something I heard, something I felt because of something I saw, or whatever
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember, or
yeah.
whatever I've internalized, and maybe breaking that down and then expressing it musically or as a piece of writing or as a piece of graphic art or whatever. I don't think, well, for me, I don't think I could really remove myself from the physicality of the matter in terms of receiving stimulus or
Yeah,
whatever.
sure. Yeah.
But that's where now the reading comes in. What are you consuming in order to
Yeah.
produce what you're producing? So that too, and then even then, I can't really divorce myself from what then comes as realizations, from reading. But then that's internal, isn't it?
It's
The
an interesting
realizations are
something
not.
to explore because I do think so. I was gonna say, I mean, if we were at the space of of it coming from the internal, then I think we're probably closer to self-realized than not, And yeah, that to me is a long way away.
Hmm.
So I'm still very much relying on the external.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you get those lucid moments. Like if you sometimes. I remember the first Srimad Bhagavatam class I gave after receiving second initiation, and I sat down and I just spoke, and the next day His Grace Raj Basi played a lecture, and it was Srila Prabhupada lecture, and it was literally the same thing, and I was like, whoa, I've been connecting to something very deep here. Somehow I feel like I've compromised it, but that first day was really magical. That was magical. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. That's one realization I had today after, consuming a bit of Bhagavad Gita. Staying plugged in.
Yeah,
Yeah, staying plugged
yeah,
in.
it's vital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty. It's been an hour. It's been a pleasure. And I really enjoyed this association. And I hope we could do it every Monday. That'll be something to look forward to.
That'll be cool. That'll be, and if you have a theme in mind, you know, I could read around the theme. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just
Nah, just read and share. This theme thing,
okay.
just
Just
then I'm
keep it
just gonna,
keep it fluid.
yeah. And then, yeah, what? I'm tempted to play something new that I'm making, but anyway, let me play this for you.
Okay,
I'd like to hear your thoughts about this anyway, you know,
this one that you're gonna play. If you can
about
push
this
the
whole
volume to the.
project.
Oh right,
Is,
okay.
is there a way of increasing the volume? That's the question. Let me see.
Maybe it's my earphones. Probably.
Hmm?
I don't have those like dope earphones, but I do have a pair. I just need a cable for it.
Hmm.
I need to get plugged in. So this is a new concept.
What's this?
The one
Come
you're gonna
again?
play now. This is something new. Is that what you said?
No, this is from this old thing. I'm tempted to play something new, but I want to finish it first.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
this
all
is
right.
a track I recorded with Brian. Goes by the alias High Priest, and it's titled Complex Thing.
Cool.
This is the whole process of reading and then writing. You know, that was the approach with him, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed doing
No, I
that with
really
him.
like that when you presented it. You presented it as the idea for that Kavya Khona. I mean, that was the foundation of it, right? People would read
Yeah,
articles or
that's
excerpts and
and
then
still I still want to do
retranslate it.
that. I still want to do that. I still want to explore that with a lot of people, see what will come of it, because I really had fun doing it, and a lot of nice work came out from it. So this is the jam. It's titled Complex Thing. Such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we live in. Complex thing. Yo, Pastor Finley, I've been longing to meet you regarding this complex issues concerning the life I'm living. Paternity, preface, reference as please believe me. Groups of groupies do me. Now which one of you wants to do me? Maybe in between is where the scorching heat springs is where in actuality preparing to roll hand in hand with the beat and the eyes closed just to twist the swindling tongue mentality. Being beaten by their own teeth, so they cheat. We all know it's on, so long as the beat goes on. You better meet me at the gate at 8. There's plenty of excuses in the seat. Sink yours with the juiciest, fattest, tastiest bait. Catch one. Without confusing yourself, use it. Why is it that it's but surely merciful nasty follows me? Such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we live in. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we live in. Complex thing.
Would you even be able to begin to comprehend the totality of sound? We perceive me with the bodies we're in, overlooking that it's by our karma we're bound. It would seem inconsequential, stored in a strange little pigeon suit. Up there, as well as in a great thirsty walnut, or trapped in a crystalline fold of time, and they still reaping the fruit of all its actions. Certainly almost sound like if one actually knew its timeless name. I think if it were a word, it would be beautiful. A painfully pretty glow that sounds of dawn's dusk, that rise, that wind that's come of many whispers. Cows the ground that grew its being, that spoke its voice and gave that word its meaning. Appointment sound, the perfect syllable. Such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we're living. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we're living. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this world we're living. Complex thing, such a complex thing, this moment in time and this life we're living. Complex thing.
That's it.
I got a few pieces. My earphones were doing me. If you could send it to me on WhatsApp,
Yeah,
I'd like to hear
definitely.
it again. And I wanted to ask you, were you talking about om at some point there? Some syllable. Was it om?
The perfect syllable. I was talking about sound. Oh,
Was it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, please send it
Perfect
to me.
syllable.
I only caught like really small pieces, which were dope, but I didn't get the full experience because these earphones are very they're not made for this purpose. So I do have a very nice pair up there. I just need that, the cable, like I don't know what to call it.
Yeah. No, the other thing is that
So
this
I'll be
work
more prepared next
wasn't
week.
like all of this stuff. I didn't finish this stuff. I just
That's
plunked it
not finished.
onto.
That sounded pretty complete to me. Okay, you did. It
Yeah, I
did
just
stop
threw it on
abruptly,
here.
but it
Like my computer got struck
yeah.
by lightning, and
When?
I couldn't finish this one. This is like a while back, and I couldn't finish this stuff, so I just threw it online. So it was
I could speak for hours poems on lightning bolts, literally. But I've never met anyone that was literally affected by lightning, minor or figurative, or subtle lightning bolts.
yeah, I'll share the link with
Sorry
you
about
via
that. Did you lose a
WhatsApp.
lot of data?
Well, I backed
Was
up
it like,
the.
was it a write-off?
Yeah, the machine is gone, but
I'm so sorry that.
I time machined it, and the hard drive that I saved it on is encrypted. It's a whole story, man. I've had like a lot of drama with these machines. I don't even know where to begin. But anyway,
If you,
I got to
you know that.
bounce.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very
Atma.
much for
It
your
was
time. Really
blissful. Yeah, I think it's a good start. I
inspiring.
mean, I feel a bit slow. I feel like I just was,
Yeah,
not full
I was.
energy, not at full capacity. But at least I kind of know what to expect now, and then can grow in the meditation.
I think that's my thing this year, man. I've just been thinking about how like I overthink things. Oh, I want to do this, and then it's gonna be like this, and it has to be like that, and just do it.
I've also let go of a lot of that. I've let go of a lot of that. Like, okay, on the first day of the UCT, so I was a bit overly analyzing. When I put it in a sentence, all I had to do was transport 5 or 6 things to a venue and let people run things. But those 5 or 6 things just took up so much mental space. Really small things. So I relate, but I also feel like I'm able to let go a bit more and let go and let God, as they say.
Yeah, that's the
Your
closing
best
line.
thing.
Let go and let God. Hare Krishna, Vasanti.
Let go and let God.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Atma. Blissful.
Till next
So how do you
time.
do this background music and the whole thing? It's very cool.
There's
Very
some
cool.
new feature here.
Okay.
Sometimes what I used to do is I just
Okay.
play music through another channel on the mixer from this machine that I use for most of the audio production. So today I just came across this like, ooh, background music. Let me try this. Oh, you got some lo-fi. I'm gonna play that.
Okay.
It was just
It's
just
cool.
went with
It's
the
cool.
flow.
It does a good job.
Very well.
Okay, yeah, I look forward to some more explorations, and I'll see what I can read. Hare Krishna.
Shy.
All the best
Same to you.
with your colorful pens. Keep writing and sharing.
Very well.